Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back with Kidney Stories 2. This is your Uncle Jim Myers. We're getting ready to host a new show tonight. I think it's going to be a good one. Tonight, we have Kent Bressler back from Kidney Solutions, and he brought with him a special friend, Jessica Contreras. She's going to tell us her kidney story. She is seeking a donor, so please, please, please share this broadcast. Let's help Jessica out. All right, away we go. Hello. Hey, how you doing, Kent? Where's our friend Jessica? Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. I'll tell you how this works tonight. We're going to start with ladies first tonight.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start by asking Jessica questions, and we're going to find out about her kidney story, and then I'll have Kent catch us up on what's going on with Kidney Solutions, and hopefully he won't fall down during the broadcast, and we'll go from there. So, Jessica, give us your full name, please.
Jessica Contreras.
All right, and your date of birth?
December 26, 1983.
You're a Christmas baby.
I am one day after.
How about that? All right, I understand that you're a single mom. Is that right?
Yes, I have two kids. I have a little boy who's 6 and a little girl who is 11.
All right, and what are their names?
My little boy's name is King, and my daughter's name is Imani.
Okay, and I think that we have a picture of you and your family. Can we get the picture up, Steve? Hello? Maybe? All right. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There's a good-looking group.
Thank you.
All dressed up, no place to go, except on Friday night with Uncle Jim. So, yeah. All right. Tell us a little bit, Jessica. When did your kidneys fail? When did you start to have end-stage renal disease?
About 4 years ago, after I had my son. So I was poorly managing my diabetes, and I guess when I had my son, there was already the protein in the urine kind of thing, so they were just watching me. And then for whatever reason, I think life just got a little overwhelming, and I didn't really take care of myself the way I needed to, like just be very extra careful. And then I just ended up in the hospital, and the next thing I knew, my doctor, who was amazing, was like, you need to, you're going to start dialysis pretty soon. And then that's kind of what it started all this. But it became because of my poor diabetes, I guess.
Okay. So the diabetes caused your kidneys to fail. Would that be correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Diabetes and high blood pressure, not managing my high pressure as well.
Okay, and you had high blood pressure as well. Wow, double whammy.
Mm-hmm.
One and two cause of kidney disease right there.
I know, right there.
Wow. How long have you been diabetic?
So I want to say I've been diabetic since I was maybe like in 3rd grade. When I was in 3rd grade, we used to do this like checkup during school, and the last stage was the nurse would check our bloods. And I remember my blood number, the number I would get was always high. It was like 200 something, but I associated that with my weight. And because I didn't want little kids to make fun of me, I would ask my mom to write me a note for me to sit out. So I wouldn't have to get my blood checked in front of everybody, because everybody else was like 80, 70, and mine was always really high, like 200. So I would sit out, I wouldn't go to school that day. And I want to say that that's where it started. And, you know, I don't come from a family where we got, our regularly checkups, only because, my parents just worked all the time. So that was really hard to manage. So it just didn't really notice it till I became an adult and I got a job at my first job offered insurance, and I went and went like a health check, and then that's when I found out, and I was like, what, I believe 21, 22.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it, Jessica. You're talking to a grocer's kid, so everybody on this show works for a living, man.
Yeah,
So,
it's hard.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I take then you were placed on dialysis. Did they give you a catheter and you went on dialysis? Is that what happened?
Yes, I was put on peritoneal. I don't know how to say that.
That's right.
Okay. That one I was put on that like I guess 4 years ago is when I started my dialysis.
Okay. And do you recall where you started dialysis? Was it in center? Was it at home? How did that happen?
It was at home. Well, I had to do I guess it was like a 2-week training in center, and then I would go there every day, and then after that they kind of just let me do it at home by myself and stuff.
If my information is right, I understand you're doing peritoneal dialysis at home?
Yes, it is.
Is that correct? Mm-hmm. How many hours a day are you doing dialysis in one session at home? How long?
It's like a 12-hour process.
You do it overnight?
Yes. Well, I say sleep, but it's not much of a sleep.
Yeah.
Because you just like I can feel when the liquid goes in, and then when the liquid is pulled out, or if I sleep on the tube, the machine beeps, and then I gotta move. And anyways, but it's a process to sleep sometimes. But yeah, it's 12 hours. I do it while I sleep, and then in the morning, I unplug and I start my what we call now normal day.
Right. I understand as a single mom, you're also working too. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I have a full-time job. I'm an assistant branch manager at a bank here in my town. And then I also do a lot of volunteer work. So I keep myself busy.
Right. And so you've been on dialysis for 4 years, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you are currently seeking a kidney donor.
I am. Yes, I am.
Good. And where are you listed currently?
Right now, I'm at University Hospital in San Antonio.
And I understand that you had to change the hospital that you were working with at some point in time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I started off with Methodist, and then I moved over, and now I'm at University in San Antonio. And then I also started the process at Methodist in Houston.
Okay. And I understand that you are an O negative blood type. Is that also correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So if somebody wanted to start the process to donate, they could. You gave me a number. They can call a phone number 219-567-5777 if they wanted to start the process to donate. Is that right?
Right. 210. I'm sorry. 210 is the beginning.
210. 219 is my area code. Bad, Jim. Let me make sure we get it right. 210-567-5777. Okay. They also have a link online that you can fill out to start the process to donate. www.utclivingdonor.com. And I think, Steve, we have that. We can show the folks. There it is. So if someone wanted to donate to Jessica, they can either call the number 210-567-5777, or they can follow the link that's on the frame here. All right, there's the number, and it's right. Even though Uncle Jim messed it up. Bad Uncle Jim. There'll be a new Uncle Jim in the morning. All right. And I also understand that you have a Facebook page, Kidney for Jessica. Is that right?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Kidney for Jessica on Facebook, and you have two, I Need One on Instagram.
All right. And we have both of those, and those are in the slots. So tell us, have you had any bumps in the road in the process of trying to obtain a transplant? What's been going on with that?
Um, I've been trying forever, just different avenues. I guess my hardest challenge is, I guess, communication with the centers, because of the whole HIPAA, and they can't share the information. It's really hard to keep track of who's called and who's going to the next testing and kind of that, because they won't let me know until it's final, which I understand, but it's a little, I guess, not overwhelming, but I would like to know, like, where's, who it is, or where they're at, or kind of thing like that. But I mean, I understand the process, but it's just,
Yeah, it's
Frustrating.
definitely slow. First, you have to be listed, and then they want to find out if you're financially responsible, and
yes.
then you have to go through testing every year to make sure you're still healthy enough to get a transplant. Things have to go to committee, and it takes time, doesn't it, Jessica?
Yes, it does. It
takes
a lot. This is patience, a test for patience, surely.
Right. And tell us, why do you wish to be transplanted? What's your motivation?
My kids. So when I was 13, my dad passed away. So I know that feeling, to grow up without, like in a one-parent home. And right now they're in a one-parent home, but God forbid, and I pass away, then my kids really have nobody. So it's more for my kids. They just, like, I feel like I brought them in, so I need to take care of them.
You need to take care of them.
Because I chose that. So they're my responsibility. So I need to take care of my babies. That's all I'm for.
I understand that. My baby's 33 years old now, so I'm a little further down the road than you are. But I understand that motivation very well. You mentioned earlier that you've done some volunteer work in the community in addition to your employment. Can you talk to us a little bit about your volunteer work?
I was serving on the Habitat for Humanity board, which, building homes obviously is awesome. And now I'm with the Boys and Girls Club of here in my town. So we just volunteer whatever they need for the community. With Habitat, it was the same thing. Getting people into homes. What else do I do? I'm part of the Kidney Solution crew. And just anything I can get into, really.
Exactly.
Keep in there, stay in there.
All right. So I also understand that you've done some kidney advocacy for all of us. I saw pictures of you with Representative Chip Roy. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I know that Representative Roy's a little bit of a character, that he's kind of evasive. So anything
that was kind of cool. I didn't think it was kind of cool. It was a really cool experience to meet him and talk to him about the kidney, what's going on with us, and he gave me a little bit of hope. He was like, God willing, you're gonna get your kidneys. So it's just, I think he gets it. He understands it. So
good. Well, I want to thank you for going to him and telling your story. They teach us that your member of Congress will remember about 90% of your story, that it makes an impression. It affects the way that they voted. It affects the way that they look at issues. So thank you for taking time to speak with him.
Thank you.
To tell your story. Oh, thank you. Man, that's great. That's great. You can't buy that kind of stuff, man. That is awesome. I understand that you've made several efforts to get the word out, to try and let people know that you need a donor. One of the things that I happened to see today was your children made a sign for Christmas. You were in some kind of Christmas parade. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. So we have a parade here in my local town. It happens every year. And I tried to do it last year, but the parade was canceled. So, they were like, let's do it this year, Mom. So so what their idea was to write Santa a letter and ask him to bring me a kidney. So I got the board and they helped me paint it. And there's my little boy, and that was our little saying for the parade. So we put it on this little float, I guess, trailer thing, and everything that could go wrong that day just happened. The light wouldn't work. Our generator wasn't working. I don't know. It was just horrible. So we ended up. My friend was like, "Let's just go." And if they see it, they see it. We were the second to last float, I believe, which everybody has to see Santa. So I was right in front of Santa. So that was kind of and then the lights, like so my friend Eduardo, he called one of his other friends, and the guy met us because so they shut everything down for the parade. So so he met us in line to the parade with the generator, with the gas for the generator, and we just like literally turned on the lights right before we turned that corner to get onto Main Street for the parade, which was awesome. So I did get a lot of feedback to that, and it was just so nice to see people, be like, "Oh yeah, Jessica, I'll give you one. I'll give you one." So, but since you can't hand anything out, I was just telling people to write down the phone number. So, and which is crazy because the other day, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I was out in the yard watering my plants, and this gentleman drove by and he stopped, and I thought it was really weird that he just stopped, and he rolled down his window. He's like, "Ma'am, do you need a kidney?" And I was like, "Yes, sir, I do." And he's like, "I remember your sign from the parade." And I was like, because the sign is still in my front yard. It doesn't have the Dear Santa letter anymore. But the white board is still there. And he's like, I'm negative. I will give you my kidney. So he actually went and got tested not that long ago, but I haven't heard any results yet. So that was one. But yeah, I've done
Fingers
the board.
crossed.
I know. I hope so. So
Me too.
So yeah.
I saw that you've had a few newspaper articles that have been written about your quest for a kidney. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the parade just brought a whole lot of attention, and it all happened so fast. So we did the parade, and then somebody drove by my house, and I guess saw it, sent it into the news station in Austin, and then the Fredericksburg newspaper, which is here in my town, somebody drove by as well, and I got a note in my mailbox saying, "I want to interview you," and they came out and they did an article on me for the newspaper, for our local newspaper, and then San Antonio came out with whatever station they are, and then I had the Univision also came out and did it. So I did it in English and Spanish. I covered all my bases, like somebody, and there was a lot of calls that I got through that, and I don't know how everything worked out because so all this happened like, I think it was Christmas Eve, Christmas, and then the 26th. So those 3 days, they're all basically holidays. So
on your birthday,
nobody was there. Yeah, nobody was there. I don't know how that worked out, but it was my birthday. So there was a very good present this year.
All right. So we were in the newspaper, we were in the parade, and we were on 2 television stations. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that what I got out of that? Okay.
And now I'm on TikTok.
Right. I understand that you've done a TikTok thing with Slim Janet. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my daughter started us on TikTok. We didn't even know what TikTok was. And because she kept doing all these little dances, and she tried to show us, and then it was whatever. But my sister-in-law said, "You know what? I'm gonna get on TikTok and just try it out." And in a month, she gained I don't know how many followers, but she's like in the thousands now. And so I was like, "Hey, do you think that you could do one for me?" And she's like, "Oh, why didn't I think of that before?" And she did one. So she's getting a lot of responses from that as well. I know there's like 2 people, and the last I heard was one was a go, but I haven't heard anything else, and that was last week. So
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
it's a go, but I don't know if
Cool.
a go for what, like a go to get tested or a go like they passed everything. I'm not sure what the go was to.
What the
I
goal
haven't,
means.
I haven't touched base with her or anything as of last week, so I don't know, but hopefully something. I mean, that's a big, a platform. TikTok is a huge platform.
Right.
So.
And Slim Janet's helping us, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So.
Now I understand that you're an O blood type, and I'm an O blood type, so I know that for direct donation purposes, the only type of donor you can have is another O, right?
Yes, correct.
But your center recognizes paired donation or a kidney swap. So if someone else has a donor that matches you and you have a donor that matches the other potential recipient, you guys can swap donors, and that would help you get a kidney, right?
Right. And not
Right,
just me. I believe it helps. I think we can go up to I guess 8 people is the most I've heard. It could go up more. I mean, depending on how many we have to swap, but that's one
record-
person is going
The
to
record
help.
in New York is like 200.
Oh,
So
wow.
quite a few people could benefit.
Yes.
So I understand now you're also working with Kent and Kidney Solutions. Can you tell us a little bit about how you started with Kent and Kidney Solutions and what they're doing for you right now?
My dialysis center actually told me about Kent. They were like, just go over there. It's just, it's a group. It's going to help you. And so I was over there, and everybody was just very welcoming because they know I guess they know the struggle, and it just felt nice to know why I guess I was so angry at the time, or so frustrated, so overwhelmed, and to have people understand that, I'm not just, because everybody else looks at it like, oh, you're just mad all the time, or you're just tired all the time, or you're being lazy all the time, and you get so many negative stuff. And they were like, no, we get it. You're tired, your kidneys don't work. It's normal.
Yeah.
And so that was that just made me feel so at home. So I call Kent my adopted grandpa. So but he's been a help through it all. We think of things and what to do and how I approach things, and some things I shouldn't do and stuff like that. So
Kent's been transplanted for almost 33 years, so you're getting good advice from a guy that's been there and knows that. And it's just so people understand, as far as your frustration is concerned, I went through that when I was on dialysis myself. I was on dialysis for 4 years before I was transplanted. I was diagnosed when I was 25, on dialysis at 58, transplanted at 62. So 40 years between Ken and I. We have almost 100 years of bad kidney experience, if you want to put it that way. So I do know that I had anemia, I had cysts that popped, I had times when I was put on hold on the list. I had, between the ages of 25 and now I'm 66, I'm probably in the hospital on an average twice a year, and it usually involves some kind of procedure. So I do understand, when you talk about frustration, what you're talking about, just so our audience understands when somebody's looking at it.
I guess when I really realized it was frustrating was when my kids went back to school last year. So I'm on the machine and my kids had to ride the bus, and I couldn't be at the bus outside. I had to walk and get on the bus through a window. And as a mom, you're like, well, what if something happens? What if somebody kidnaps them, or whatever the crazy idea was. But just to be right there because I'm on the machine, that was it was just very frustrating. It gets like that sometimes, but
that does happen. Those sort of things do happen. So
Jim,
your current status, what is your current transplant status? What's going on with that?
Right now I was on hold. Now I am not. And then I'm just taking, I guess, people who are willing to give me their kidney is what we're doing now. still trying to get people, following up on other people. And so now people can go get tested, and hopefully there'll be some good results.
Hopefully. All right. Before I turn it over to Grandpa Ken, can you tell us, is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you're thinking, gee, I wish Jim had asked me about that I wish I'd had a chance to discuss that? Is there anything I missed?
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay, well, I try to do my homework, so.
I see.
We have intelligent conversations, but and people should know, you and Kent did the show on short notice this week. So I had somebody that they couldn't get their camera working. So, but anyway, I just wanted to say, Jessica, I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for coming on to talk to us tonight. Oh,
you're so welcome. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Another way to advertise myself here.
Happy to help. So I'm going to talk to Kent for a little bit now. Okay. All right. Kent, tell us a little bit. How did Jessica come to you? What are you doing for her? What's going on with her case?
I'm going to tell you what. When we work with patients, Jessica has been our poster girl from the get-go. All right. She has the patience of a saint. You hear that all the time. Well, you're looking at a saint. This woman works. This woman has 2 children she takes care of. This woman came to support group religiously, and she has been to Houston to try to apply for a pancreas kidney transplant.
Oh,
everything that she's done, everything that Jessica has done has been right. The only thing that holds her up is the fact we've had no one step up and say, dadgummit, that woman needs a kidney and I'm going to help her. And that's essentially why we're doing this tonight.
So really, she needs a double transplant, not just
exactly.
a kidney, but she needs a pancreas too.
She could.
The pancreas would help, but if I can just get the kidney, I'm good with the kidney. I will manage my diabetes. Now I know way better than that when we were managing it.
We spent time down there. We spent time in Houston to try to get this all worked out. It just didn't work, but that doesn't mean it's gone away. She can always go back and have that if she has a kidney transplant, she can always go back and have a pancreas transplant. We're not going to give up on that ride for sure. And nothing. I just have to tell you, Jessica, of all the sleepless nights I've had, and I know you've had, and I don't have any more hair to pull out. I pray that you find somebody, and you've explored everything. I can't imagine why you're not angry, upset. I use the word, that 4-letter word, but you're not that kind of person. You are.
I have my moments. Wonderful. Don't get me wrong. I have my moments.
Oh, I understand. I get that. I see some posts. Yeah. But Grandpa has never said anything to you that would indicate that you weren't worth your salt. You are. All right. And you know what? Remember, when we come to the support group, all those people that had heart transplants and liver transplants, and they always ask, how's Jessica doing? What is going on with Jessica? Did she get transplanted? And you know what? The sleepless nights, some of them that I have, you're not in a dream. You just there. I have two people in this group that I work with that I wished I could go in the room, get up on the shelf, and pull a kidney off for you. But it didn't. God is going to handle this. You know that.
Oh,
it's coming. It's coming. You've never given up. It's coming.
That's why I say this is my test for patience, because I'm not a patient person.
Well, you fooled me then.
Because now I understand. It's going to be on God's time, and it's going to be the right person, and it's just it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and you know what? And after you've had it, after it does happen, after you've been transplanted, you come back to support group and you're in doing things with other people, the first thing in your mind's going to be, you know what? It was all worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And you believe that now. So don't give up. And I know you won't, but draw on us. Draw on us.
She's optimistic. She's
Yeah,
optimistic.
you got it. She knows. She gets it.
So
the prayers are going up.
So Brother Kent, I understand you've had some successes lately as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I wanted to say one thing before I get away with this. Amanda De Leon. Amanda De Leon was very instrumental early on with trying to find a kidney for Jessica. She went out of her way to make sure that everything was perfect in our presentation to the public about Jessica and her family. And I know if she's listening, or I know if right now she's lost her dad and times are tough, but I know that Jessica drew on her a lot for support. And I don't want that to go on, not to know that Amanda was in Jessica's life. Okay. So the successes, I'm not, you know me well enough that I'm not a numbers guy, right? We're trying to focus at Kidney Solutions. We're trying to focus on the individual patient, and we're trying to focus on preemptive transplant. We're trying to keep people off dialysis. All right.
Well, for example, our friend John is on the broadcast tonight.
Yes.
Jonathan Traylor.
Yes.
He's one of your recent successes, right?
Yes, he is. He's worked with Kidney Solutions throughout this whole process. He got transplanted just a couple weeks ago. Another gal by the name of Brenda Lutz. I can name some, but I'm not going to get into that. All I want to do is make sure they know that we're working for them. All right. All we want to do is find a way to get people donors. And it's tough now, Jim. Since this COVID came on, I don't think there's any statistics. I'm sure there may be. I've not read them, but it has slowed considerably for living donation. And that's tragic. They moved on with deceased donors, and I get that because those would be wasted if we didn't. But it's hard for people to justify giving somebody a kidney and walking into a hospital to do that. You got to be a real special person, okay? Really special. And that special person will make sure that it happens for somebody. And Jessica's it's no different for her. It's going to happen. But living donations is down, and that is getting better now. I've noticed we've gotten more referrals from physicians, and the people that we work with, if we work on that algorithm of relatives first and then work down into the public, that we're getting a lot of responses. Okay. And I say a lot because I don't have numbers to give you exactly, but I do know we have currently between 8 and 15 people working. We're working with 8 to 15 people, and half of those are preemptive. All right. So you got to work harder preemptively. You got to work faster because you don't always get to see them early on in the illness. You get to see them later, and you got to really work fast and hard and quick to get them a donor. And we can't guarantee donors. Ask Jessica. If we could have guaranteed her 3 years ago, where would we be? But we don't look back, Jim. Don't look back.
Jason Nunez is also one of your guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If somebody wanted to contact Kidney Solutions, how would they do that?
KidneySolutions.org. Go on our website and take a look at the 18 people right now that are looking for kidneys, that kidney donor. And make sure that I give my phone number out. I have a podcast. I have support groups and on Zoom, I guess we call it.
Zoom
is my elderly mind working. I'm way ahead of myself. Grandpa's mind. Yeah, we Zoom twice. We Zoom on Monday nights and Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Religiously, someone is there. Someone is on. And a lot of San Antonio people and just kidney people transplanted are looking, go on Monday nights. And then we have a multiple group of heart patients, liver patients, and people who have had multiple transplants, lung, liver, kidney, on Thursday night. You attend them. Anybody's welcome. Yeah, anybody is welcome. All I need to do is get an email address and I will invite them in. All right. I can't do it without an invite. You can't just, it's a dedicated Kidney Solutions Zoom channel. Okay. So, but we're ready. We'll take anybody and we'll work with anybody. All right. Not just preemptive. We have a lot of people on dialysis, have had, in the last 3 weeks, have had a couple social workers who have been sending us patients.
Excellent.
All right. But if you go back, I want to talk one more thing about Jessica.
Sure.
This is about her. Nowhere have I ever seen anybody work as hard as she has at finding a donor. Okay. It breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. And she's been very supportive of Kidney Solutions. But she's looked in every crevice. If there's a rock to be turned, she's going to turn it. And that's what you have to be when you have kidney disease and you need a transplant. All right. She doesn't want to be on dialysis anymore. And she said made a big statement here. And I hope everybody who's listening, make sure it's about the children. It's her children that she's worried about. All right. And she should be. And I think it's going to work out very well for her. But you can't get any more tenacious than this woman. Just doesn't. They don't exist.
Well, that's great. That's great. Now, I just want to make sure everybody in our audience understands. When you talk about preemptive transplant, that's transplant before dialysis, so you don't have to go on.
Absolutely. I'll just give you one example, and I won't name a name. We had a gentleman here in town who had our Kidney Solution card for 3 weeks on his desk before he called. He wanted to he did not want to go on dialysis. He told me straight up the first time I talked to him, I understand, he said, that you weren't on dialysis. I said, I was on for 2 days, but I understand your willingness to look for a donor. So he didn't want to go on dialysis, and the doctor says, well, go find a donor. And this is in my mind because he had 2 sisters and he didn't know, how to approach them. And I said, well, let's get Amanda in here. Amanda was a fantastic advocate for donors. And so he invited her up to his house, 60 miles. She came up, she sat and answered every question those girls had. And this man was transplanted 28 days later.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Somebody's asking about your blood type again, Jessica. I want to remind people, Jessica's an O type, O negative. So any O type blood is a match for her.
And
so the RH factor doesn't matter. Positive or negative doesn't matter.
Anybody who wants to donate, I don't care what blood type you are. If you want to donate to Jessica, you call that number or you go online at university and you fill out the paperwork to do it. If you don't understand it, call me. I'll be more than happy to walk you through it. So you've got 3 avenues, but this individual is looking for a kidney donor, and trust me, that's what I want the most for her, and I know it's going to come. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Unless there's anything else, guys, I have a little bit I need to talk to the audience about tonight. It's PKD Awareness Day, and it's Uncle Jim's turn. So,
yeah. Well, I want you to know how much we appreciate this. All right. Yeah. This is a free. This is something, and again, it's like Kidney Solutions. We don't charge anybody anything. All of our services are free. Okay. That was a shameless plug, isn't that what you call it?
Shameless plug.
And Jessica Contreras, stick with it. Stay with us. Help. Whatever you want, you just call. You know that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And I'll be sharing those updates from now on, Jessica, because we're friends on
Okay.
Facebook. I
Thank
see them,
you.
and I reach about 100,000 people a week. So,
Oh,
we'll keep getting the word out.
okay.
Okay? All right,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you so much for coming on such short notice. I really appreciate it.
Yep. I had the right gal. I found the right one to come on.
Yes, you did. Yes,
Thank
you
you,
did.
folks. Thank you so much. And I've seen a lot of people talking, writing, notes coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for doing this. Let's find a donor.
Melissa.
Yeah.
Jared.
John. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's find
Quite
a donor.
few guys.
Yep.
So we appreciate it very much. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for supporting Kidney Solutions. Most of all, thank you for supporting Jessica Contreras.
That's right. Thank you.
All right, guys. Let me talk to my folks, and we'll get Steve on his way. All right. Okay, I wanted to talk to everybody today because today is PKD Awareness Day, September the 4th. And I'm a PKD patient. My dad and 4 of my other relatives all had polycystic kidney disease. They're all deceased from it. I have polycystic kidney disease. As I've said before, I was diagnosed when I was 25. I was on dialysis at 58, and I was transplanted when I was 62. My father was not so lucky, but he is the one that inspired me to become a kidney advocate. And I want to tell a story tonight that I haven't written about, or I haven't talked about, or given a speech about anywhere else except here. And this is it. The last month of my dad's life, he was hospitalized at St. Margaret's Hospital here in Hammond, Indiana. And he knew he was dying. We all knew in my family that he was dying. The way his doctor described it is that his heart, he had congestive heart failure, is hanging around like a bag, and we really don't know what's keeping him alive. At that time, my dad was doing peritoneal dialysis. This is back in 1983. And he was one of the very first people in Northwest Indiana to be doing peritoneal dialysis. And in that last month of his hospitalization, they asked him to go down to a room where another gentleman was and talk to him about his experiences with PD, peritoneal dialysis. So we put my dad in a wheelchair. We took him down to the other man's room, and he spoke to the other man about PD. He talked to him about how he owned a grocery store in Cedar Lake, Indiana, and how he was able to, maintain his employment and do his work and keep up with his family, and, the freedom that peritoneal dialysis gave him. Now, just so you guys know, your Uncle Jim is an extrovert. I'm an ex-trial lawyer. I'm used to public speaking. I don't keep my mouth shut even when I'm told to. My dad was not like me, not at all. I'm more like my mom that way than my dad. My dad was an introvert. He did not like speaking to people. He did not like public speaking. He was shy to a fault, a very quiet man under normal circumstances. So for him to do this was extraordinary. And if you think about that period of time when he was doing it, he was trying to generously give of himself. And those are the things that made me aware of PKD. So he went down, he talked to this guy, and he struggled through it, to be perfectly honest with you. He stuttered, he stammered, didn't like public speaking, but he felt that he had an obligation to do this. So he did it. And on the way back, I had to hold him in his wheelchair like this because he was leaning forward, and I was afraid he was going to fall on the floor. That's how tired he was. Took him back to his room, put him back in his bed. A few weeks later, he passed away. He passed away from polycystic kidney disease, uremic poisoning, and of course, congestive heart failure, as I mentioned. After he passed away, the hospital and the nephrology group that he dealt with, and they were the only nephrology group that time, back in 1983 in Northwest Indiana. They had all of Northwest Indiana from Hammond to South Bend. That group was the only group of nephrologists that took care of dialysis patients, kidney transplant patients here in Northwest Indiana. Not the case anymore, but they were the only ones at that time. They and the hospital published a newsletter. And my father was in the newsletter. They showed pictures of him at his store, pictures with his family, pictures socializing, pictures dialyzing at home, right? And at the time that they published that, I was angry. I thought, you know, these guys, they used my dad. They used my dad to publicize their dialysis method and to make money. And they used him after he was dead. So I was angry. I thought they had really used and abused my dad. Now that I'm older and I've been through a few things myself, I understand that they could not have done that without my dad's permission. They could not have done that without him saying, this is okay. I want you to do this. No matter what happens to me, I want you to go through with the article. I want you to publish the photographs. I want you to let people know. I want to go down the hall and talk to this stranger that I've never met about PD, okay, peritoneal dialysis. My dad was a kidney advocate before there was a term for it, okay? That's why I'm a kidney advocate. That's why I do the things that I do to try and help other people. So I became aware of polycystic kidney disease through my dad. And because of that, I was tested early on in my life. When I came up positive, I was treated early on in my life for my high blood pressure and my cysts that were growing, right? You know, a normal kidney, this big, like your fist, okay? Polycystic kidney, about the size of a football, a lot bigger. So because I was diagnosed early, because of my family's history, because of my awareness, because of my doctor from IU, Dr. Hellman, they put me on a kidney diet. They put me on high blood pressure medication. Eventually, when my kidneys did fail and I went on dialysis, dialysis was much easier for me than a lot of people because my clinic mates, okay, they were coming in by ambulance. They were coming in on gurneys. They were being taken in on wheelchairs and on walkers. They walked with canes. You know, they were basically dialyzing, had no hope of ever getting a transplant. I drove myself there and back. I made all my doctor's appointments. I took the medication that they asked me to. I was already on a kidney diet, right, from the time I was 25. So because of my dad and because of PKD awareness, I had a much easier skate through dialysis than a lot of people had. I have urinated the whole time, okay? I've never had one day in my life where I didn't urinate. I was not on a fluid restriction because of early detection, early care, all right? I was transplanted during a month when, at the beginning of the month, April of 2016, the transplant doctor, who was the head of all of the nephrologists at Indiana University, a guy named Dr. Tabor, told me, He met with me. I've mentioned this. I forgot to mention. You have these meetings every year with your pre-transplant doc, and they assess your situation. They go over your test results. During that meeting, he told me it could be another 2 or 3 years that you wait for a transplant. And I've been on dialysis for 4 years at that point. And, you go, okay, I understand. I know there's a wait. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. You have a scarce resource that I need. You have kidneys, I have to wait. Pretty simple, right? At the end of April 26th, I got a call from my tree transplant coordinator. That's a mouthful. And she told me, we need you down here as soon as possible. We have a kidney for you. We want to transplant you tomorrow. Dr. Goggins wants you here tomorrow. You guys remember Dr. Goggins, right, from my earlier shows? So because of my dad, because of awareness of polycystic kidney disease, because of his experiences, because of his willingness to very generously advocate for other kidney patients, to very generously let people know about PD, about that method of dialysis, peritoneal dialysis. Because of his example, my life was made easier as a kidney patient. So I celebrate PKD Awareness Day for my dad. You have a good night. Take care. We'll be back on soon. Tom Otterman coming up. I'm going to try and get him on next week. Have to talk to Steve about that. We have Priya Shaw at the end of the month. Great kidney story. I'm going to talk to Priya about that. She's an ambassador with the AAKP, and I'm working on some other big things for you. So you all have a good night. Thank you for listening to your old bald-headed Uncle Jim. Take care. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye. Many thanks.